Our Warren County Safety Committee Beer Board meeting to order. And the first item on the docket is to approve our agenda.
I'll make a motion we approve it and also approve our minutes from last meeght. That's
We'll
okay.
take care of 1 and 2 at the same time. All in favor? And I guess I'll second it. You want to put that
I'd
down?
second it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Good. Did you? All right, we got those two. All right, let's report from the sanitation department.
Just to let everybody know, Tanya's out on vacation, so I'm gonna be sitting in for her on this report.
Okay.
I guess this will be my officially last report, but this is Tanya's report. I just ran the numbers this morning for her.
Okay.
So on the blue copy, anybody have any questions on the numbers?
Is that pretty much average what we've been doing? Ain't it?
We've dropped, we had less semi-tires and it hurt our diversion rate a little bit this month.
How about your amount of garbage? Is it about the same?
It's up.
It's
And that kind of hurt our diversion rate as well. Yeah, it is up. That's probably one of the biggest months we had all year, to be honest with you.
What do you think cut your tires back? What?
Brad Womack was doing a cleanup, Gary, and he had brought in about an extra 4 loads to us last month, 2 months ago, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that really helped us. Last report, we had 23% on kind of those extra 4 loads. And when I say loads, they were semi-loads. that he
He's back
brought.
on it. He's back.
Yeah,
He's
he
got
brought-
a few, but
He brought them to us.
yeah, he's back. I cleaned up.
Can you still take tires on Wednesdays?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he brought them over in a semi-trailer and the boys unstacked them and we charged him right there on the spot,
Mhm.
He was real easy to deal with and he called us ahead of time. And I think we scheduled a load on a Tuesday or a Thursday as well, where it didn't kill the boys on Wednesday, and he was really good to work with on that.
Good deal.
But that's the difference in the percentages on your diversion. And cardboard was down this month as well. That plays a little factor in. Last month you had over 40 tons of cardboard, and this month was just almost 30.
Ron, I think you asked about the mile garbage last month.
Yes.
One of them's paying, 2 of them's not. They've got till the 14th day of August, or we're gonna change the locks on that dumpster.
Which one's paying?
The VA, Ballard, is that right, Terry?
That's right.
Ballard.
Bath and Body's not paying.
I would like to say that Bath and Body, the bill was not going to the correct place, from my understanding. And it has now been sent to the correct email. So I'm going to say we will be
Well, I want
getting a payment any minute. I would say that.
to. I want to suggest something too. My buddy Larry Judkins and I, we walk out the mall a lot when I'm not working late, and we park around back. Okay, and I witnessed that door being left half open, and people just drive by. I'm sure they've been told to, and just go in and dump their garbage in there and drive off. So
They're not locking the door back.
Yes, so, and of course, if you're irresponsible enough, you're not gonna pay your bills, you probably, one of them's gonna open the door for your buddy to use it. But now that needs to stop somehow if we can make it.
Who's the other one that's not paying?
Jay,
How about Rose? Is that pay?
they got all,
I got
their
their
own, they got their own.
They're a pretty good ways from the dumpster. It's all around.
Yeah,
And I think they've got a contract with the Republic. Ain't that right? Terry? I think
it's a blue.
Yeah.
Jay's is probably not gonna pay.
But their brother lease, the new leases, it's tied in with their lease. They're right there.
Any other new leases, it's all tied. Okay, that's good.
Tied in with their
That
lease.
takes care of those problems.
That way we wouldn't have to do no billing.
Yeah.
If the lease is coming, we just picked it in the lease.
Good deal. Simplify.
Yeah.
All right.
Any questions on the blue copy? And I'll go
No.
into the solid waste director's report.
Okay.
This report is split. You've got Josh at the top and then Tanya. I'll report on my end of the year cleanups before I move over to the highway department. So I assisted Tanya for the annual suit training, the litter control, and the hazardous communications, the bloodborne pathogens, and the Title VI training. She needed all those trainings, and it was up for the rest of the employees to have all those as well per TDEC. So we had that at Medley's, and the employees was paid on July the 15th. It lasted 3 hours. All 12 sites passed inspection through the state last week. I was very thankful for that. That is a big inspection that the state comes in and they do every convenience center. And buddy, they're by the book. And if you got an issue, they're going to write you a violation on it. And we passed with flying colors. And in the email that he sent to Mayor Bell and myself, he bragged on Warren County's convenience centers, and that meant a lot to me.
Absolutely.
And to the employees. All thanks goes back to the employees. If it wasn't for them, we couldn't be passing these inspections. So I'm thankful for the employees on that. The waste reduction grant, we're knee deep in it. We've been going around and around and around. We have, let me rephrase that. The county has awarded the bid to AKB Incorporated pending state approval. The state approval, we sent in all the paperwork with the procurement to ask the state to approve the bidder. We had budget amendments along with the procurement, along with an extension letter. So there's 3 things that the state has to approve on that before we can start this build. They reached out to me and said it could take up to 60 days to approve those 3 things. And I have asked them to push this through as quickly as possible. And they're going to try their best. So I hope that gets approved very quickly and we can get started on them 2 buildings to get that completed. Excuse me. Fairgrounds. It was closed on July the 20th for the installation of 2 new Galbraith 450 compactors. I am thankful for that. That has upped our tonnage per load on that by 3 tons, and that is reducing the numbers by 30. So them new machines are 450 5-yard packers instead of the old 325 4 yards. So instead of pulling 10 ton, we're pulling 13 ton. So it's reduced the load count coming out of fairgrounds by 1/3. And that's the main goal. That's what we've been doing. We've made a push on that over the last 4 years, and the county and the commission has, funded those projects, and I'm thankful for that through the budget, and it's paying off. We see reduced load counts daily, where we used to run trucks nonstop. I mean, them guys run. And by putting in this new equipment, it is paying off. The Viola house cleanup was completed Thursday, July the 30th. We had a total of 3 loads, and the total tonnage was 32.51 tons at a total cost of Viola $1,746.44. We have sent out the invoice to Mr. Trent. And I would like to make a note that the town of Viola dealt with some difficulties with the neighbor. I would like to make that known for the record. But that's their problems. We were asked to assist. We showed up to assist, but that's the town of Viola. And that's one reason why I didn't comment in a news article that reached out to me. If it had anything to do with us and sanitation, I'd have commented, but it didn't. Going on to Tanya, they have started the internet as of today. They're installing at all the convenience centers. Besides fairgrounds, they're going to have to do some boring for the fiber optic under some asphalt, but all the other 11 convenience centers is getting internet. We have sent in for a convenience center grant this year to put camera systems at every convenience center. We won't know that until a couple months, but we have sent in for that. And we are working with the finance director on the new timing software system that is coming mid-September, I've been told. There'll be tablets at every convenience center. The site operators will be clocking in, clocking out. One big advantage to that is the site operators, every 2 weeks, every paid every pay period, they have to drive all the way into town to sign their time sheet to verify their hours.
They'll be able to sign it
They'll
on
be
that.
able to sign on that tablet, and it'll keep all 30 of them from having to drive, even if they're working or not, all the way into town from 7 to 9 to the office to have to sign.
Good deal.
So the majority of the employees is very happy about this. They are a couple that is a little worried about being savvy
Uh-huh.
on a tablet or phone. I totally understand that, but Tanya has told them that she'll come up there and spend hours with them and make sure they're comfortable.
Yeah.
And even if she has to clock them in and out at the office until they get used to it, she can do
She
that.
can do that, that's
She's tried to work with them on that.
Good.
She has implemented a daily call-in sheet at every convenience center. She wanted me to talk about that tonight. This has the operators calling in for their material percentages at the end of their shifts. So she's asked them at the last 45 minutes to 30 minutes of their shift to call her county phone. It's set up on voicemail at the end of their shifts, and they leave a voicemail of the tonnages, percentages in the boxes.
Mhm.
Takes them about 5 minutes to do it. There's a binder at every center. I was wanting y'all to see that. She wanted me to make sure y'all knew that. This is what it looks like. This is one day. There's a binder at every convenience center, and they're just writing in trash 500 pounds, cardboard 50%, metal 25%. And this is allowing her to set up her next day, from my understanding. She done this at Rutherford County.
Well, how do they evaluate?
Or guesstimating it?
Are they guesstimating?
Oh,
or what?
okay, that's what I'm at.
Yeah. So she's asked them to do 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%.
Oh, okay.
That way, if you look in a box and there's a couple pieces of metal in there, it's 25%.
And if
Yeah.
it's half,
It's
it's
roughly
50.
half, it's 50%.
Okay.
And
That's
they're all doing excellent. I'll say
Good
that.
deal.
I was amazed the first day. I took her around to all the centers and she explained it to them that afternoon, and it was smooth as silk.
Good, good.
I think some of them was a little worried, right off the reel, but a little change, some were worried, but they've been doing great at it. And I guess the biggest one here, as per state audit, I guess about a month ago, a state auditor had pulled the truck drivers' timesheets from Harley, and they noticed that we've been paying them through lunch. And we used to have to do that the way we were structured in Warren County. With the older equipment, we run through lunch. Them guys would eat, 10, 15 minutes at a time at a convenience center. They would eat in line at the transfer station. Well, I'll say the last year, they've been blessed and been able to come into the office and take a full lunch. And the state auditor has pulled this up. And Justin called me, and I couldn't lie to Justin, and I'm not going to lie to nobody or an auditor. And I told Justin that they do get their lunch 90% of the time.
And that goes back to what you were
And
talking
with
about,
that-
the new equipment,
with
making
that-
things even easier on them.
That's exactly why we've restructured the department. They're able to do that.
That's good.
But when I told the auditor and Justin that they do get their lunch, 90% of the time, and explain why we was paying them through, he said that we would need to add on 30 minutes before the shift or at the end of their shift. And I, coordinating with our new director, she chose to put that, at the end of their shift. And that it's better beneficial on the department, because sometimes they do run over 10 or 15 minutes throughout the day, and you have to pay them overtime when they do run over, So
Anyway,
it's been added on the end of the shift from 7 a.m. to 3:30. And I'll say this, there's 3 drivers that's tickled to death with it. They love it. It started today, and they went out to eat lunch in town, which they've never been able to do. And there's one driver that's a little upset about it.
Yeah.
But, that's just the way it is.
So they can stop, like if wherever they're at, and
Yep.
they don't have to come back to town.
No, absolutely. They're not allowed to. No, they won't be allowed to come all the way back into town. They're told to pull over on the side of the road at a safe spot, pull in Medley's Diner parking lot, go in, eat a plate lunch.
Or Paraders.
Paraders, they can pull in Paraders and go into Gary.
There were a couple of them in there,
There you go. It started today. I think Dalton and Stan stopped and ate lunch.
Oh.
Them two, yep.
They
And
know
Charles and
they
them,
know where it comes
they're
from.
kind of happy with it. Used to, they couldn't
about
do
Mark?
that. Mark's not happy.
I know.
Well, Mark might as well get with the program.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, it's a
It's
state.
it's
that comes down to
TCA.
is what it
I
is.
printed this off because I knew Mark was a little upset. I got TCA code here stating we gotta do it. It's state law. It's on the second page under section H, I'm sorry. It plainly states it here.
I know, I got it here for.
I'm sure you do. I got a little bit myself. But hey, it's part of it.
Well, people don't like change.
I've got it highlighted.
People don't like change.
Sometimes you have to, especially when you got
It's state
people,
law.
5 people asking to drive.
Yeah.
5 people knocking on the door wanting that
Oh,
job.
it's a good job.
That's right.
But it ain't nothing we done to them. We just didn't change just because it's state law. And it really
It's gonna have to happen one way or the other.
That's right. But I'll shut up, quit running my mouth. That's about all I got now.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve his report.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other questions for Josh? If not, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
I
very
would
much.
like to say that I had 2 commissioners reach out to me today questioning that TCA code, and I respect them for reaching out to me and asking me what we're doing. Thank y'all.
And you've done an awesome job.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You're gonna do a lot better than that at the highway department.
It ain't like you're leaving us, but we can't say goodbye.
EMS. Here's another good department that's running smooth. Got a lot of hard work.
Oh, everything's running pretty good for us. No big issues. We've got a conference coming up the end of this month that me and Daniel are going to go to. We are supposed to discuss that equipment grant that we got last year through the state. We wound up getting, I think it was around 32,000 last year on it. It depends on what services apply for it. Last year they opened it up. I think it was the first week in September. So they're supposed to discuss it with us some this year with it. So it should be opening up. We'll apply for it just like we did last year. And then the truck grant that well, it ain't really a grant, but that they're doing through the state. They have got another meeting set next week on it. They've still not released the applications or anything like that, but they're hoping to have that out the first part of September. Like I said, they have a meeting next week, and it's on the agenda for that billing conference, the 3rd week of August, to discuss it there. The issue they've got on it right now, it's not the money. They've got the money, everything laid out. They've got the qualifications on what you can buy and what you can't buy. The issue they've got right now is the original deadline is set for August the 1st of 2027, saying you have to have the truck in hand to get your money reimbursed. And almost every manufacturer that you call are given 1.5 to 2 years lead time on builds. So there's a lot of people that are not going to be able to get a truck in. So that's what they're kind of working on now, is trying to get it, the EMS office is trying to get it changed to where you have to have the truck ordered before August of next year instead of having it in hand. So hopefully they'll get that worked out this month.
Now, on your equipment stuff, is there any certain pieces that you're thinking about?
Well, the
investing in?
initial one just said an ambulance. There wasn't any specifications. Well, then they came back and they put some specifications on the equipment. Now they've came back again, and the only thing you can add is the load system, if you want to add a load system, and you can add a stretcher. Before, they were talking about any EMS equipment, but now they have it narrowed down to the only two options.
Well, I want to ask on the, the $32,000 grant you got, is there any equipment that you were sort of pinpointing that money to help with?
We've not really decided on it yet. Last year we bought the new stair chairs for going up and down the stairs. The ones we had, most of them were 11 years old. We had a couple that were newer. So we purchased new ones of those to replace all of those last year on it. This year we're not 100% sure. We've talked about buying we've got 6 of the Lucases that do the CPR, and they're running around 30,000. And they were all bought at the same time.
Yeah.
They're about 6-year-old, 7-year-old. So we've talked about buying one of them. We've got 6 of the ventilators. We've talked about possibly buying a new ventilator, so we have one, that's newer than what we have. So we're just kind of playing around a little bit with it right now.
What your need at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the grants? You got the other day that Terry and Jason,
Mhm.
didn't you get some money the other day? When it was through the fire department?
Yeah,
Grant,
yeah, we got some extrication equipment. The one that
through the ball, the fire department,
Yes.
Yeah.
things, I
Yeah.
picked it up down Manchester.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get the actual.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got $35,000, I believe. What we done on it, we put in for extrication, safety equipment, pants, jacket, helmet, gloves. Talked to Justin some on it the other day. The quote that we had that came in wound up being about 47,000. We were is a little over $11,000 difference between the quote we got and what we got on the grant. Now the grant doesn't specify the amount. We can look at cutting the numbers back to get that equipment down closer to what the grant was for. We talked to Justin Friday, and the lady that's over that was out Friday. So he told us to check back today or tomorrow. But we got a letter from them stating that the money had been.
I don't know what deposit, not deposit, or when did you put that in?
Is there a signature place on it?
So,
That's all right.
But yeah, we're using it for the jacket, pants, helmet, and extrication gloves. We put in for 35 sets was what we put in for, and that would make it to where every full-time person had a complete outfit, and then we would have a couple extra. And our plans, the gear, it's about $1,300 a set. It has its own serial number on it. So we were going to issue a sign-in, sign-out sheet where whoever got a uniform would have to sign it out saying, hey, I'm taking this. It belongs to Warren County. If I leave, it has to come back to the county. And it's got a 10-year shelf life. So, I mean,
The last one.
it'll last us for a while. But we wanted to do it where if we had someone that quit and left, we could get that gear back, or, they would be responsible for paying for it. So hopefully, we'll get that took care of this week on ordering it. Spoke with Justin. Our equipment line item that's in our budget, we've got $35,000. We typically buy a stretcher or something. We've got that other money coming in on that grant we know that we're getting. So we discussed it, and he said we could use part of that money to make up the difference on this and go ahead and get the full 35 sets if we wanted to. So hopefully we'll get that took care of, hopefully this week.
Good deal.
The ambulance remount, we talked to Steve 2 months ago, and he just said we were getting closer, and that's all the information we have on it from last year. We are actually going down to their office tomorrow to discuss it. And the budget we're working on now, the new budget, we've got a remount in that budget. So we're going to talk to him on it as well. But we're supposed to go down and meet with him at 11 o'clock tomorrow to look at it. So hopefully we can get a.
Reckon where the state of Tennessee thinks all these ambulances are
I don't
come
know.
from. That they're
I spoke with Terry when that grant first come out, and they let us go ahead and order a truck just by doing a letter of intent and getting their name put down. The day that they announced it, we actually had our name put down that day. And they were telling us probably about 18 months would be the earliest we would get one. And I know I talked to Wade the other day. I called him back and I added a load system where it would put us over that 305 mark so we would get the full amount. The truck itself was like 286 or 287. So we're going to come in around 312, 313. But he told me that he had sold 40 something trucks since we talked to him.
Wow. Wow.
And it's not just the state of Tennessee doing it. It's several states that are doing it. But he said that he had sold over 40 units since we ordered ours.
Goodness.
So there's in the Upper Cumberland, we done a roll call this morning on who had an order placed. And, I think there was 6 or 7 counties in the Upper Cumberland that's not purchased or done an agreement or anything as of this morning on the truck. So they're going to be every bit of 2 years out.
Yeah.
So if they don't change something, then
Well, we're in good shape. Our trucks are in
Yep,
pretty
we're in good
good shape
shape.
right now.
yep, pretty good.
Good deal.
And then the last thing that I have for y'all, I meant to have something on paper and I didn't. But I will work on it for our next meeting. We had talked a few times here recently, some of the unclaimed bodies, the remains that we have. We've got some that we've had for 13 or 14 years,
You talking about the ashes.
just the ashes.
Okay.
They're at the morgue. We've got a place on a cabinet there where we keep them. And we are allowed to bury them. It just has to be a public location, like with a cemetery or something, so anyone is allowed to go there. So me and Terry had talked about it some last week about possibly trying to come up with a policy, like if we've got remains there for 5 years or, something, whatever, 10 years, whatever we set it at. But if we could do something with one of the local cemeteries, you just have to have some type of a permanent marker. It doesn't have to be a full tombstone or headstone. It just it can't be a piece of paper.
Yeah.
But then they can be placed somewhere, instead of us keeping them there where we got them.
How many have you got?
11 or 13. I don't remember. It's one of the two.
It's over.
Yeah, it was either 11 or 13 that we've got. And like I said, some of them's been there for 13, 14, 15 years.
Well, I think you probably need to draw the line even sooner than that. I like that 5-year deal.
That's kind of what we thought, somewhere around that area, somewhere around the 5-year mark. If we still have them, then some of them have got family that's just not interested. Some of them don't have anybody that we've ever been able to come up. And the process we go through when we have that, of course, we talk to neighbors there. The funeral home tries, and typically we turn it over to the DA's office, and they go in on their database and try to find somebody. And like I said, the ones that we have they just absolutely refuse to even talk to us.
So you got names almost.
Yeah, we've got names, birth dates, social security number. We got everything on them. They've been run through the DA database, and no one has been, willing to.
So we could do some kind of plaque
Yeah,
and put their name in
Yep.
that.
I can save you some money on that if we do this up at Smyrna because we don't, we got somebody that we bury somebody and then they won't put up a
Mhm.
headstone. So you take a piece of 12 inch by 12 inch, half-inch piece of aluminum, and I set them CNC machines up
and just cut it out.
Yeah, and then we just cut it out, and then we just
Yep, and that's all we would have to have.
and then
It just has to be something to identify where the remains are buried at.
I mean, if y'all buy us a piece of metal, we can do that for you.
Okay.
That'd be neat. I never thought about that.
I mean, we do that, and then we paint it, and then it'll.
And I'm sure, with the cemeteries here, we would have, because you wouldn't have to have a plot. You would just have to have a little corner somewhere, so. But we'll try to get a little more information and get some stuff on paper for everybody. And
Is the city cemetery got a spot like that? That's kind of out of the way down there that they would donate?
Well, I mean, they spot down there in that new section, but there'd be a question for Cody Smart.
The cemetery that's out Morrison across from Newbies, at one time
Gardens of Memory.
they had talked to us about letting us do something like along that back border. I mean, finding a place I don't think would be an
No.
issue.
I know where there's
Because you
two,
could go somewhere where you typically couldn't do a plot to do that. I mean,
I know where there's 2 plots at it, Mount View, that could be donated,
so,
that'll never be used.
but we thought that would be something, time for us to address that issue and do something with some of the ones that
Well,
we
if you
got.
wanna work up
Yeah.
a resolution type deal, that if you wanna work that up, and I like the 5-year deal, and then we can get to put that in place and then take care of what we got as soon as we can, and then have that just on a regular basis. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve Preston's report.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other questions for Preston? If not, all in favor?
Uh,
Okay. All right. Keith?
Not really a huge month for EMA. Not a lot really goes on in July in particular. So the other hat I wear, quite a lot goes on in July, so that works out pretty well. July the 2nd, we had our end of the year meeting. I mentioned that just briefly in the last meeting because that happened that day, but it is part of July. I did mention we got a 10% funding increase in future grants on our score. We went through the hazard mitigation plan review. The federal government has opened up the FEMA grants for hazard mitigation again. And the challenge this year was we were notified last week and we had 1 week to fulfill that request. We could not do that because when we got our hazard mitigation plan together at the first of this year, the state's planner passed away during that time frame, and their ability to get all that documentation and all that information from his computer has been an ongoing situation, which may end up, we may have to start all over, which is about a 90-day process, which will definitely get us there before the next grant cycle. I feel like it was something that was put on pause, and now that it's reopened up, it'll probably be something that's year to year again like it used to be. On July the 9th, we had the generator start up. That went well. Generator is probably out there running, supposed to be out there running right now. It tests from 5 to 5:30 every Monday afternoon. And the service agreement for Energy Systems Southeast to help maintain that generator, that has been put in place, that is purchased, and they will do their first service building and grounds voted to do a biannual, twice a year service on that. They'll do one in January and then they'll do one in July, and then we'll start a new year. That's paid yearly. It's not a multi-year contract by any means. It's something we could change at any time if we so chose to do that. Quarterly directors meeting on the 14th down in Chattanooga. The state's implementing a new grant portal and a new reporting portal. Every quarter, there's about a 12-page report that I have to do that submits to the state. It also goes to the federal government on activities and expenditures, and it's pretty extensive. That's going to go to an online portal where I don't have to fill that all out manually, print it out, and then submit it to my actual district coordinator. So that's going to be handy. Also, for those who do not know, this was an announcement that came out back in May from the state. The Department of the Military TEMA has always been under the Department of the Military through the U.S. government ever since the civil defense days. Now has emergency management has shifted in a almost completely different direction. Homeland Security kind of does its thing, and EMA is a combination of the two. Emergency management, that's about the last piece of the puzzle that didn't shift to a newer model of disasters, most of them being natural or, some of the things that we've seen lately. They have detached. Now TEMA is the Tennessee Emergency Management Authority. That is its own entity now that does not fall under the Department of the Military. That may or may not cause some restructuring to go on. They're just letting everybody know that where they don't foresee a whole lot of changes as far as the nuts and bolts, the way things are done and who and how they're done may evolve over the next several months now that emergency management for the state is its own thing. It doesn't fall under the purview of the military. And that's about all I got. There's some upcoming things that we'll see this month. Of course, I informed y'all that, in the last meeting, we had just got in the plotter, the mapping system for downstairs, and we'll have to implement that software that goes with that. We're pretty close to getting all the bid specs done and all the paperwork outside of just the specs submitted to the state to go out for bid on the TAC and radio systems for the fire departments. And we will start the Starlink. I intend on having emergency management having the availability to at least have one unit of Starlink communication should we need that. It's not a very pricey thing for us to, I know some of the fire departments have that. I don't think all of them do, but in a given situation, it may be beneficial for us to have that piece. We're having about a $700 a year conversation to have that. So that'll come online probably in the next month to 6 weeks. That's all I got.
I'll make a motion, we approve the EMA report.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any other discussion for Jason? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have no beer permit application. And I've got a public comment I'd like to make. As chairman of safety, and I may not be here very long because we got an election coming up, but I hope the safety committee would in no way tolerate any animosity about our new director being a woman. Personally, it ires me to think that someone would question, oh, I don't want to work for a woman. And if there's anybody that works in the sanitation department that has that kind of feeling, and you can pass the message what I think, they can find him somewhere else to go. We're going to run this. This ain't no different than Josh being there, and I don't want Tanya to come in with any kind of problems like that on her shoulder, and I hope our safety committee would support that. She's going to do a good job, and I don't want problem makers, especially has to do with whether I work with a woman or not.
I understand.
So I'd like to make that as a statement from me personally, and that I hope our safety committee will support Tanya 110% because I know I'm going to. And I just want to put that on the record.
Same way.
Anybody else got anything they want to say? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you.